there's quite a strong, like, you can tell just by the way someone dresses or acts, literally within the first minute of meeting someone, whether they play football or rugby. It's really weird.
Is that why Charlie's so weird looking?
Yeah, he plays rugby.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 7th, I believe, episode of the Second Perspective podcast. And if you follow us, if you follow the podcast, you'll know that we did take off last week, and there's a multitude of reasons for that. Mainly, we were both very busy. There's a lot of things going on. If you guys aren't aware, Rich is organizing a plan to travel to Bali, right? Bali first, yeah?
Bali first. Yeah. So like that's the plan. Who knows? It's one day, it's good, and then one day we're sort of like a bit more optimistic than we were the last day. But yeah, we're still keeping our fingers crossed for sure. But yeah, like Pete said, we missed last week, unfortunately, and I sort of not guilty is the wrong word, but I feel bad for not like letting anyone know. Like I didn't put it on my vlog because I didn't have a vlog out on the Friday beforehand.
Right.
And we decided quite late or we came to like a mutual decision that we weren't going to put one out, and it just sort of like happened, and then neither of us really updated anyone. So I know there's a few of you that were probably looking forward to the podcast last Sunday, and I, on behalf of both of us, apologise for not just keeping you updated. I guess it's really bad in both of our part, but like Pete said, we're both
sorry.
We're sorry. But yeah, like we're both really busy, as you can probably tell. I know what I've got going on my end. I know Pete's got a lot going on. You've got a lot going on your end with your job and stuff as well, haven't you?
Everyone has a lot going on. I mean,
yeah.
you're moving, I know that, and figuring out cars.
Yeah.
And just kind of getting your life around before all of that stuff happens. It's just supposed to happen in September, and yeah, I'm about to move too, so there's a lot of things going on in our lives right now, so we skipped last week. I'm sorry. We're going to move on from it. But we have, with the Premier League coming back, we have a juicy episode for you guys. It's the two of us. We are both fans of the sport, soccer, football, as you guys call it over there, was what it probably should be called. But what we're going to do in today's episode is kind of talk about fanship in the United States of soccer, and also fanship of American football in the UK, because I know it's growing over there, as with soccer is here. So it's kind of an interesting topic to get both of our perspectives on. It's something that I'm pretty passionate about. We're both big sports guys. So, but first we wanted to kick it off with Muppet of the Week.
Muppet of the Week.
Rich, do you wanna start? You wanna handle the Muppet this week?
Yeah. So let's just keep this in mind. So like Pete mentioned the football, that's recently kicked off here in the UK. The Premier League is back, much to the delight of a lot of people. I was really excited about it until about 2 hours ago. We are literally recording this straight off the back of the Man City Arsenal game, which a lot of you football fans will know. City made Arsenal look a little bit silly, and a lot of you as well will know that me and Pete are both, of course, Arsenal fans. And I was like a little kid at Christmas today, waking up this morning felt like Christmas Day. I was like, oh, football's back. I was so excited all day, sat down, and I don't really know what I was expecting, but it was terrible. But yeah, our Muppet of the Week is David Luiz. If you've
horrible game.
Yeah, horrible game, but just like, what was he doing? Like, if you don't know who David Luiz is, I can only describe him as Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. Like, think about Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons, and you've pretty much got David Luiz as a real life person. Like, he's got the big hair, but not only that, like, he's big and he's almost like evil. Like for an Arsenal fan, like, he plays for Arsenal, but he is like a villain all the time. Every time, he wasn't starting the game. I'm just going in a rant now, Pete. But he didn't start the game for obvious reasons, because he's not that great, and then he gets substituted on because another player of ours got injured, and then he came on, and like soon as I seen him coming on, I was like, oh no, like what, this is not going to end well. He's been on the pitch like 20 minutes. He made a mistake that led to the first goal, and then he fouls someone to give away a penalty for the second goal and get sent off in the same sentence. So like in 20 minutes or like half an hour, pretty much of game time, he's managed to do three massive fuck ups, and I'm just like, you're a waste of time. If I see him in an Arsenal top again, Pete, I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done with it.
Rich and I were texting during the game. And before, and he was getting pretty passionate about it, as I was too. But I kind of came in with the expectation that we were going to get smashed.
Yeah.
I know that's a really bad mentality to have as a fan. But that's kind of always been my way of coping with disappointment.
Yeah.
Especially in the sports world, and I'm kind of getting used to it again. It's been nice not having to watch them. I wanted it back, but like
yeah. I know what you mean, though, because you do get your hopes up, and like I suppose, like, because a question again, like this is our 7th episode here on Second Perspective podcast, and like me and Pete are still getting to know each other, and like when did you start? I know you've told me before, but like when did you start following Arsenal? Like they weren't like quite at their peak though, were they? Or were they?
Ironic enough, so it was no, it was definitely not at the peak. So it was 2011 or 12.
Okay,
it was that season, and obviously in 2010 it was a World Cup year, so I watched that. Yeah. And then 2012 it was Mikel Arteta is ironic enough, it was against City. It's when he scored and we won 1-0.
Okay, yeah. I got you.
That was like one of the first Arsenal games I ever watched, and I was like, damn, okay, I like that.
I
like these guys. Like Van Persie was raw then, and then he left. Obviously, I didn't know the situation.
I remember you telling me that, actually, and like my point here, I guess, is like you're sort of, as bad as this sounds, like you're sort of used to the disappointment, like because we've not really won much since then. We've won the FA Cup twice, three times since then, which is a lot. Like, it's a major trophy. But we've not really, we got to the Europa League final, if you could call that an achievement.
Big, yeah.
But like, it's not like, when my memories of Arsenal, like when I like was following, like I've always followed them, but like when I was like growing up, my memories of Arsenal were like we were, unbeaten for 49 games. We'd go to the likes of City and just like wipe the floor with them. We'd go to Chelsea and just like make them look silly at times. We'd always give Man United a game. We'd probably beat them most of the time. Like we were like the cream of the crop, the top. Everyone wanted Arsenal. Everyone was calling for our heads. And now, like I watch it, and you said we were getting passionate about it tonight, but maybe your expectation level's a little bit different to mine. Like I'm not expecting us to beat City, but I just want to see something. Like, there's not one thing that I seen tonight that I thought, do you know what? That was a positive. Like, we didn't have a shot on goal. We didn't have a part of the game that I was thinking, like, maybe the first 5 minutes, I guess. But apart from that, I was like, this is, like, we cannot even pass without getting into delving into it too much. We can't even pass the ball from our goalkeeper to get into the opposition half. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was ugly. But
it's not
this is a terrible excuse as a fan. This is a terrible excuse. But like, and it's a kind of a good segue to kind of, to the UK listeners, to the UK audience. Most of our sports over here in America have something what's called a salary cap, and basically like, and it's also educating the American viewers because Manchester City back in 2010.
Yeah,
were bought by it's like a prince, right?
Yeah.
In Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And like it's basically Etihad Airways, which if you don't know who they are, big deal.
Yeah.
And they have pretty much endless pockets. And Arsenal are not that. And they are owned by the same guy who owns the Rams, Stan Kroenke. They do have deep pockets, but like these City guys just go out and
Al Nahyan, that's his name. If it's a bit of a mouthful.
But my point is that like American owners in most sports in the States can't just go out and like abuse the market. They can't go out and just like buy every player.
Okay.
And City kind of do that in a way.
Okay, I didn't know. Like I thought, because I know you've got a lot of drafts and stuff. That's right, isn't it? Like we don't have that in the UK at all.
Yeah.
But what, like, can they not like just go out? Can you not just like have big financial like powerhouses that just go out and sort of?
So like in the NBA, it's a good example because there have been teams like that, like the Warriors.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know what the salary cap is, but like you can go out and get like, say, so you have Steph Curry and Durant and Thompson on that team, right?
Yeah.
And they're all on max deals, which were at the time like $38.5 million.
Yeah.
Those deals are hampered. Like, yeah, it's a ton of money, but like those 3 massive deals take away. That makes less space for like the other players on the team, like the role players, like the guys that come right off the bench. City don't have to worry about that. There are some like financial fair play issues and like penalties for that, which I think that's what they're under investigation for now. But City and like PSG can go out and buy anyone who they want. That's why like playing against teams like City, it's a incredibly unlevel playing field. I know that's a horrible excuse for like what happened today.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
I know what you're saying,
but
like
that didn't happen. That didn't happen 20 years ago.
Times have changed.
Chelsea was bought.
I get that. Like, you know, I get your point completely. But just, I don't know, man. Like I've played a lot of sport in all my life, and like, yes, there are people that are better than you, but I'm not saying they're not trying, but there's got to be, like, fucking hell. Like, I see teams in, like, that are way on, like, you're talking about money, but I see teams that, like, give City a game that have got way less expectations than we do, you know, as a club.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I seen a stat, I don't know, what do you watch it on over there in the States? Have you got Sky Sports? Is it Sky Sports?
NBC. So it's
Okay.
NBC Sports, and then they pipe the Sky feed through.
Oh, so you still
If that
get, like,
makes
the
sense.
commentary of the Sky and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
we get all like Peter Drury, all those guys.
Okay, so did you see our stats against the top 6 teams since 2015? Did you see that on the?
Well, we haven't
feed?
won a game, right?
Yeah, we've not won one game against
away.
the top 6. Away from home, yeah.
Really?
In since
Yeah.
2015.
Home we've beaten
20,
plenty of people.
20 games though, like 20 games against top clubs, and we've not had one win. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But this is my
I
point.
think that'll change, man. You got to be patient.
Not
like
from
I
the
said,
evidence tonight. Like, I don't want to be
Arsenal have
negative.
been terrible for what? Not terrible. They haven't been terrible. They went to a final last year. If you win
True.
that final, it's a totally different outlook.
Yeah,
Like,
I get that.
that's why I was so frustrated after that in Baku. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like that would have changed the entire landscape of how we looked on this season.
Yeah,
You know, it's just,
that's true.
and you probably would have had Aubameyang sign again
yeah.
before that. So it's just, I don't know, man. I think they've been out of the Champions League for 4 seasons, 3
Yeah,
seasons.
it's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a long time, relatively speaking. Like, you got teams go through rebuilds. You know, Liverpool were terrible for a long time. I mean,
That's
Liverpool
true.
were bad for.
Oh yeah.
Liverpool were bad up
7 or
until
8
like
years.
2017,
Yeah.
and they had one good year in there. But
Mm.
oh, geez, now everyone's a Liverpool fan over here. So
Yeah, that's bad.
used
Yeah.
to be United. Growing up, everyone loved the United kit, the Rooney. That was all you saw. Like growing up, that's Rooney and Ronaldo. That's about it.
Really?
In the States.
So-
I mean, this was what, 2007. Like,
Yeah. No, I get you. It's sort of similar over here. Like, you've got like, I see a lot of kids now running around in City kits, and like, it's never been seen before. You know, like, you rewind 10
Right,
years,
yeah.
no one had City kits. It's weird, isn't it? But I suppose, like, when you are a kid, you idolize, like they you not even that. It's like they'll just have like a favorite player maybe that they see.
Yeah.
Like, you've got. You mentioned Steph Curry a moment ago. Like, you'll have young kids that just like idolize him, and then therefore buy a top with his name on the back. They're not necessarily fans of that team. They just like that certain player, and it's the same over here a lot of the time. You see a lot of that, which is strange. But I've got nothing against that. It's just when people, like when grown adults start talking about like Man City, how
Yeah.
good they are, and they started supporting them. This is no joke, and like again, don't want to delve into the topic too much, but do you remember when I went to the Arsenal game a few months ago against Olympiacos? And it's funny, Charlie will vouch for this, and I know he'll be listening now, but we had a bit of a laugh about it. I think one night we had a couple of beers, and obviously Arsenal got put out from Olympiacos, and some guy commented saying something like, it was really bad, or Arsenal are terrible, or whatever. And then he said something else about being an Arsenal fan, and I just said, oh yeah, we were really bad. I thought he was an Arsenal fan. I said, oh, it's a shame. Never mind, maybe next time, whatever. Are you an Arsenal fan as well? Making conversation. And he said, no, I used to be an Arsenal fan, but now I'm a Man City fan. And me and Charlie had a couple of beers, and he was a grown man. And then Charlie wrote back and he said, "Oh, you'll be a Liverpool fan next year." He didn't like it. He didn't say anything after that. But it is true though. That's what annoys me about sports fans in general. Like just pick your team and stick with them.
Yeah, it's like. Do you see any NFL tops over there? Do you see any people wearing any NFL jerseys?
Yeah, hold on.
Kits.
Hold on. Let me.
You got one, right?
Yeah. Got the man, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh. I didn't expect that to come out.
Why? Bit of Green Bay?
Because Green Bay is tiny, yeah.
Yeah, but Green Bay
is like a city of like 100,000.
Yeah, but it's
like
Green Bay
smaller than Birmingham.
Green Bay were class back in the day though. When I used to play Madden, Green Bay were quality. I had
2010.
I had a Giants top as well. Probably I shouldn't.
Eli?
I shouldn't say that, but I had
Eli Manning.
Yeah, and then I ripped it all down the side and had to put it in the bin, sadly. But yeah.
What's it like over there in the UK? Can you even watch NFL games?
Yeah, we can. I watch it. I'm not a big fan. But I'd watch the Super Bowl, like the playoffs as well. I sometimes watch when it's on. Mainly the highlights. Like I don't really. The only real like live game I'll watch is Super Bowl. Like I'll stay up.
Does everyone watch the Super Bowl there? A lot of people watch it.
Pretty much, yeah. For the most part, like it's quite a big thing.
Crazy,
like we have not Super Bowl Well, I suppose you could call them Super Bowl parties because by the time the Super Bowl starts, it's usually quite late. So we have got a lot of pubs / clubs that will stay open till like, whatever time, and it'll just be. I was in where was I one year? Because like I've not missed the Super Bowl for probably 12 years now. I make it a thing every year of watching the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I was in, I want to say Barcelona. Yeah, Barcelona. I think like 3 years ago, in the Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl weekend, and I was like, oh, like I'm going to miss it because like where's going to have it on? And I found this like bar that was doing it, and I went in there and it was just like full of Americans, and they were all like just having like nachos and stuff that were ordering from the bar. It was such a good night. Yeah, it was really fun. But yeah, I really enjoy watching the Super. I don't know if I could watch like league games and stuff because it just, to me, it's a bit slow. But I just love the whole spectacle.
It's fascinating to me that people. It's literally the same exact opinion of. Your opinion that you just said is what people think of soccer here.
Okay.
So it's actually fascinating. So like, what football is here is what football is in England. Like, it's the number one sport. Everyone sits down to watch it. Everyone watches the Champions League final in Europe. Like, everyone watches the Super Bowl, whether you like sports or not. Everyone watches the Super Bowl, and like, it's just like such a lot of. I wish people liked soccer here over here more. It's just such a fascinating way to think, like that you think football is slow, but most Americans would think that American football is like the top of excitement.
Yeah, really.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like you've got a lot of different. Sorry, Pete. You've got a lot of different sports, I guess, like that have completely different pace. But they all sort of try to do a similar thing. Quarters is a big thing in the States. Like, you think of NHL is one, NFL, obviously, and, NBA. So, like, all your... I don't know.
NHL does 3.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, has it? It's 3 periods. I thought it was quarters.
Okay. 20-minute periods.
I thought it was 4 quarters.
Same thing, pretty much, right? Like,
but yeah, like whereas over here we've got like halves. Like rugby's a big sport over here, and obviously the football, soccer, whatever you want to say, is like done in halves over here. So like the speed or the pace, like you've got a lot of like you use timeouts, I guess, as well. So any time a manager can call a timeout, obviously you've got like like limitations on those, how many times you can use them, but for the most part you've got timeouts, whereas we don't have those over here. We've just like got you blow the whistle to start and then you blow it for half time. I mean, obviously, like if someone gets fouled or injured, whatever, but for the most part it's like straight up go. And then, you know, obviously the second half. But I feel like you guys, it's quite intermittent, and I think that's what we struggle. Like me personally, that's what I struggle with to get to grips with it. Like
Right.
it's cool when you've got like a group of like lads and you're all just chilling and you're having a few beers and you know the game's on and then it's off for a bit, then it's on. But if you're just watching it on your own, I find it tough unless you know a lot about it. Like I struggle with it.
Yeah. Well, it's also a very complex game, American football. Like in terms of like the penalties and the yardage associated with those penalties.
Yeah.
It's so like technical.
Yeah.
Soccer is easier to understand, I think. I mean, you can tell that's a foul. Like there's very minor technicalities, especially now with like VAR. Those are kind of being like. Did you see what happened in the Villa game? By the way.
Yeah, the VAR thing.
Unbelievable. It was a goal. Like, it was 100% a goal.
Yeah, it was like I don't know how they got that so wrong, though. I've not really caught up with it. I just seen that, the ball
said
was
the
like...
cameras, they were obstructed. The cameras, the 7 cameras that they have on across the goal line.
Why would they
So
obstruct?
it never buzzed the referee's wrist.
No way.
I don't know, but...
Is that something... Is that something that
sucks.
you have in the States, though? Like, is that, like, is VAR a thing? Not VAR, obviously, but, like...
Yeah.
Is it a similar
We've
thing?
had it since...
Forever?
We've had it since, like... In the NFL. The NFL's had that since, like, 2002. Like, to review, like, catches in the end zone and, like, fumbles, like, when a guy is down, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
So...
We don't... Like, we use it in every sport over here, but not in football. Like, it's obviously used in tennis because that's, like, worldwide sort of played, if you like, which is a big one. They always sort of, like... I think they had the tennis guys in to actually set it up for the Premier League. But it's really weird, though, like, because obviously you guys use it over there in the States for every sport and whatever, and every team's got it set up. But, like, you can have, like, I think the top 20 teams have it set up, the Premier League teams, and then if they go and play a cup game against another team, like a lesser team, in that same competition, like... You can have one game, you know that anyway, right? But like just trying to sort of educate your American viewers, like which might sound crazy to them, like you can have one game where VAR is used and that will like have an impact on the game potentially, and then you can have like say the next game, maybe the quarter final, then not used because they're playing a lesser team that doesn't have it set up. It's just really weird. Like to me, they should have either, you know, do it properly if you're going to do it. But
all league teams should have that.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think of it starting up again, though? Like, you know, with the whole coronavirus thing going on and, like, you know, everything. We've seen so many injuries tonight. We get 3 injuries. Or actually, there was 4 major injuries in the game. Probably 2 of them weren't down to, like, having so much time off. But I just worry, and I said it in the podcast before, I worry that because players have had such a long time off and now they're coming in and expecting to play, like, they're probably playing, like, they're going to be playing a lot of games. They're going to be playing probably 2 to 3 games a week potentially at times. It's going to be like a chock-a-block schedule, and I just worry that players are going to be getting injured quite regularly. I said it, and it's already happened. You know, we've had 3 tonight that are all. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Like,
I don't know, man. It's everyone's in the same boat, so like everyone's kind of had this time off, and then. They're all playing a tough schedule, but I think it sucks for the players. But I think it's if you want it back, it was the only way to get it done. So, you know, I mean, you could have null and voided, but I think they did the right thing.
Yeah,
looking back on it now.
This is there was no real way of doing it apart from the way they're doing it, I guess. But yeah, like, I just worry that we're going to see a lot of players now just, like, really struggle.
Yeah.
But just hopefully nothing major. That would just be my major worry. Like I said, you know, on the podcast before, and, you know, straight away tonight, I think it only took, like, 4 minutes tonight for us to get, and I was just like, oh, typical. But yeah, how many sports are resuming over there?
Okay, so... NBA coming back. They're playing a tournament in August.
Yeah, okay.
Through September. And then the NFL is scheduled to play at its regular time, but there's talks of like a second wave, kind of like coincides with flu season.
Yeah, I worry about that.
In the winter. So I don't know if you guys have been talking about that yet.
Yeah. Well, have you
but that's kind of been popping up more. Go ahead.
Have you seen China
No.
in the last couple of days?
It's spiking?
Yeah, they've had to close down Beijing, which is really worrying. Like they've reported 100 new cases, and they've not had a case since March. And yeah, they've had 100 cases in the last day. So they've locked it down again. So Beijing, like major city, and obviously China, and they've had to lock down the city. No schools, no going out again, just so it doesn't spread again. But 100 reports, like China, that's probably going to be, I don't know, 10,000. I'd hazard a guess at. But it's just really worrying, because if that gets out again, then we're back to square one. And I just worry, like, I don't know. We've said it before again on this podcast. Like, where do we go if we have a second wave and it comes again? And what do we do?
That's the thing. Like, I mean, back to your point about sports leagues, we'll see like what happens with the NFL and college football over here.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's supposed to start on time. It's definitely going to have no fans, so people should be expecting that. There's a lot of people down here that think there's going to be fans in the stadiums for college football.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it?
And I just don't. I mean, I don't know though. You don't understand like the way it's been taken over here. It's like people think it's gone.
Really?
So it's ridiculous. But there's no way. I don't foresee how you can have fans in the stands.
Yeah,
especially like 100,000. But NBA's back. The NFL is supposed to start on time. Major League Baseball is the only one that is kind of hasn't announced a plan yet or anything. But apparently they might be close.
Okay.
And then WNBA is back as well. So pretty much everything is coming back. MLS is starting in July 8th, I think, at a tournament.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. So
yeah, that would be cool. But like,
every sport is pretty much back.
Yeah, I mean, I want the fans to be there because, like, I don't know. Again, did you watch? Because they had two options tonight in the game. Which one did you pick? Did you have a choice? Over here, we had a choice between, like, they put like a FIFA sound over one option where it sounded like there was a crowd in there, and then the other option was just like no sound at all. You could hear all the players like shouting at each other and stuff.
I just did the NBC one, which it had the crowd noise.
Okay, so you had the crowd noise.
I kind of liked.
Yeah.
Like it sounded like a real game. It's
Yeah,
amazing how good the FIFA sound sounded like.
Yeah. It did sound like a real game. I switched it over like straight away to like just so I could hear the players like shouting at each other and stuff. And it was just quite interesting. It just sounded like a training game, which was really weird. But that's sort of besides the point. My point that I wanted to make was, they're so against letting fans in the stadium, and I think rightly too. I support that. But I feel like it's very much contradicting right now. Like I don't know about you guys, but we've opened shops over here. So like shopping centres, big like outlet stores and stuff, and people have just flooded to them. Honestly, like this week, people have just been like flocking to them, and I've seen so many pictures of like people just piling into shops and like on top of each other, and it's like, why can't you have fans at a stadium? If that's going to be allowed, why not?
Yeah.
I don't think it should be allowed across the board, but if you're going to allow that, then why not allow fans at a stadium, I guess? Because at least they're outdoors, as opposed to piling into a shop.
It's a complex topic, man. Like I don't know what's gonna happen if there's another wave. Like the thing here that I was talking about with my friends and my mom recently was like schools are coming back. Like Georgia, my school is expecting all these like 1,000 kids in these dorms, which are like apartment buildings, and the halls are like 4 feet wide. How, if one kid gets that, then it goes to 50, then it goes to 100, and like these kids are college kids, they're not getting sleep, they're going out to bars all the time. I was always sick when I was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
It's just that stage of life. People coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
And like if one person gets it, then everyone gets it.
Yeah.
So then you got a bunch of lawsuits. Like, do they have to be there? They could be online. So I don't know, man.
There's so many little different aspects that you don't even think about, you know. Like, you know, you've pointed out a perfect example there, and it's like, you know, it's just, I just worry that, you know, we are thinking it is coming to an end, you know, with the resuming of things and opening up with things, but I just don't know where it's going to go. Like, if this spike, this second wave comes that everyone keeps talking about, like, we've got two options right now. We either, like I said before in the podcast a couple of episodes, we just go with it, see what happens, or we just completely lock. Like, you look at New Zealand, like, how good have they been? Have you kept up to date with that sort of story?
Yeah, I know they did a good job, right?
Such a good job, and yeah, I mean, like, they're fully operational now. They're fully up and running, everything back to normal, and all they did was just lock down the whole country, stopped everything, and yeah, sorted it. And I just think, you know, if everyone did that at the start, then look, you know, we could be over it by now. But everyone's so like I know there's so many different aspects to it, but everyone was very much, you know, the economy in our countries were the worst. In fact, you know, the UK and the USA were very much trying to protect the economy at the start, and we tried to ignore it and think it was going to be okay, and obviously that's came back to sort of, and the proof is in the pudding, you know. Do you get that saying in the States? Yeah. So you know, it's one of those, like, you can see with the numbers, we've had the most amount by far. Like, you look at have you been keeping a track of the numbers at all? Like, our numbers compared to other countries, and we're such a small country, we're a little island. This is what frustrates me. We've got like 65 million population, which is nothing compared to you. Like, we're a postage stamp, and yeah, we've had so many deaths. I shouldn't laugh because it's just embarrassing. Like, literally, like, you know, we spoke about it at the start of this episode, we were going travelling, or hope to be going travelling, and I'm just like, we're going to be sort of like looked down on, I think, a little bit, because like New Zealand,
which is unfortunate.
Yeah, but referencing New Zealand, you know, they opened up, they let some international travellers, like not as in travellers, but like people coming to work in New Zealand last week. You probably wouldn't have heard about this, but they've had no coronavirus cases in 3 weeks because, like, you know, they've locked everything down, like nothing, like zero. And they've been testing more than anyone. Like, they've just been like so like rigorous in their testing, and they let some people in. And the first time, was 2 British ladies that flew into the country. They tested positive for coronavirus within 24 hours of being in the country, and it's like, fuck, you know, it's just going to be a sort of thing like, don't let Brits in, I guess, or like, you know, we're going to be looked at as sort of the spreaders of it, I guess, which is sad. But
you guys did a better job than we're doing.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know if you've looked at ours. Trust me, man. Go look at the United States. It's literally like not going down at all.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So,
why is that though? Why?
Dude, I don't know. There's a lot of like people. They're just like, people think they're immune to it. You know, it's just you don't see it, it's not there type thing, and whatever. Like,
yeah, it is sad.
Know.
Like,
I want.
Yeah. Sorry, Pete. It's sad that people think that. It's just ignorance, isn't it? Like, again, like I went on to like from a vlog yesterday, I went on to Omegle. Have you ever been on that app or that site?
Yeah, I have. Been a long time, but yeah.
It's a strange site. It's my first time on it last night.
Disgusting.
It's a weird place. But nevertheless, I went on there last night and I got chatting to this kid from the States, and he was like talking about tattoos randomly. Like I just had my hand up and he was like, "Oh, you've got tattoos. Let me show you my tattoo that I'd be getting tomorrow." And he pulled out this bit of paper, showed me his tattoo, and I was like, "Are you sure you're getting a tattoo tomorrow? Like, as things open up?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can go." And I said, "Yeah, well, look, just don't get a tattoo and the coronavirus." And he said, "Oh, I'll be alright." And then I was like, "Will you?" And then he said, "Yeah, my immune system's amazing, I'll be fine." And I'm just like, yeah, but that's not the point, though, is it? Because then you might see someone else that won't be fine, and it's just like, people don't get it. They're so selfish. It frustrates me so much, I guess, like, what I'm trying to say here. I was quite wound up about that. I was like, yeah, you're just ignorant.
You did your part, though, so it's all good. I mean, you can't control what other people do, unfortunately.
No, you can't, but I feel like these people, that attitude is to blame, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
We've had, and these were going to be my Muppets of the Week this week until David Luiz done his Sideshow Bob act. But we had like illegal raves here in the UK this week. Yeah, so we had like just a load of young people just going out to like illegal rave parties. So they were just meeting up. I don't even know, how did they even get, I don't know. That's a whole different topic, but people organised it obviously. And thousands of people turned up to these illegal raves. And they were like, they had like a bar running in this field. Like someone just turned up, built like this little thing. He was running a bar and thousands of people just raving in a field. And it was horrible. Like and I don't care if someone's listening that went to it, the scum of the earth, because just no appreciation, no respect for anyone else. Someone gets stabbed and killed at it. Someone else get raped at it. It was just horrible people, and it's just
rave culture, man. Rave culture sucks.
Yeah,
rave culture sucks, dude. I don't know if you guys have that like kind of culty demographic over there, but like EDM, like there's some people like I like that type of music. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of people that like it's just drug infested, you know.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
A lot of bad things just happen there, and it's just weird. Like not wearing any clothes, like that's just something that's just been strange to me. Like I don't know.
No, I agree. But I just couldn't believe
that came
it.
across as really like judgmental, but.
No, but I think we're allowed to judge people that put themselves out there in this way to be judged, you know? Like if you're doing something so stupid as to literally go into a rave that you have arranged in a field during a fucking pandemic when people are dying, then you've got every right to be judged. You've got to be responsible for your actions, I guess.
You're right. Like the thing over here is like everything's opening up, and like don't get me wrong, I've eaten at a couple restaurants, but like I don't have a problem with my friends going to a restaurant, sitting in the corner, you know, if it's two of them sitting in the corner away from everyone else. I don't, if there's not a ton of people packed into a tiny place, like it's kind of like what you said with the stadiums earlier. Like, I don't. It doesn't bother me that much. Like, I know you can still catch it, obviously.
Yeah.
And you have to be cautious. Wear a mask. That's the other thing. Like, you kind of looked at as weird if you wear a mask down here in the South.
Okay.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like, there's talks of people wanting, like, the school here. They want the neighboring schools are mandating masks, like South Carolina, which is the state to the south. East of me, they're mandating masks in class. So for students, here they're not doing that.
Wow,
like, why not?
Why not?
It's such a small price to pay. It's such a small thing.
Like, how much do they cost? Like if you were to buy them in bulk,
that's
like you're talking.
It's ridiculous.
It's a bit of cloth. Like, come on.
But like I said, like I the problem that I have is when people go to the packed bars, like you said, the raves. Don't do that. Like, why? You don't need to do that. Put that on hold for a little bit. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go have a drink in a restaurant at a table in the corner. Whatever. Yeah. Like, if you're 6 feet away from people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you can still catch it. But, like, come on. Like,
you
don't need to go to a bar packed right now.
No.
Even if it's a pub that's empty.
No, you're right. You're
like, there's some
right.
restaurants. Like, we went out to dinner probably 3 weeks ago. End of May, and it was the first time I'd been out to dinner in Athens.
Okay.
In my town, and we went, and they gave us a bottle of hand sanitizer. There were like 4 other parties in this, or like parties of people, like in this massive restaurant, and they were like duos. It was just like a couple, and like we had a group of 5, and we were the only people within like 15 yards. So I was like, okay. The only person we're interacting here with is the server. We have a bottle of hand sanitizer, and masks were mandated. Yeah. Whatever. Like, that's fine. And it was a weird experience for everyone wearing masks, but it was fine, you know? Like, I didn't feel like I was going to catch coronavirus.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the main thing. You feel safe, right? But again, it's legal, you know. And I guess going to bars is legal right now, but it's a bit of a. It's like you say, do you really need to be doing that? Like, you know,
Yeah.
like we've got to eat, right? Like otherwise we die. I know that like you could make the excuse that you can eat something else as opposed to go to a restaurant, but you're not going to die if you don't have a drink of alcohol. Just chill out. You don't have to go to a bar. I don't know. Like it's
Go
just
drink in your backyard with your buddies.
exactly. Yeah, just get a few mates round and just put everyone in the corner of the garden and just throw some beers to each other and get some tunes on, whatever. It's
Right.
just frustrating, and I just get annoyed with it because it's like if we go into a second, like I was okay with the first lockdown. I'm not going to lie. Things happened in my life that I wasn't expecting to happen. Aren't necessarily ideal. However, I feel like I've coped with them quite well, and tried to turn and spin everything into a positive. But I don't know how I will cope if we go into a second wave lockdown and they tell us, right, we're not going to be able to do anything for another 6 months. That will just like break my heart. Like I don't know if, I think a lot of people will struggle with it. It's like
We are going to be.
before coming on this podcast, you said it straight away. We're struggling right now a little bit. We need to be doing things. We need to fuel that sort of adventurous feeling inside us, I guess, to actually go out and do things and have fun and just experience new things, new places, new people. And I don't know if this happens. And I feel like, again, it's only happening potentially because people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it's really annoying. How have we got to
If
this
there's a second
point?
wave, we are fucked. If there's a second huge spike,
Yeah.
we are all, because the economy's, like, here's the thing. I don't think Trump is going to lock the country down just because there's an election. And his body doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Or his supporters don't want that.
Yeah.
So we're not going to lock down.
Again, no, you're not.
We aren't. Like, we're not going to. The northern states might, but, like, it's just, like, dude, if there's a second one and there's tons, you got all these airlines. Someone, I forget who it was. I think it was Hilton Hotels, which it's one of the bigger chains in the world.
Yeah.
Laid off 22% of its workers and then
Wow.
extended furloughs 90 more days that were already there,
Yeah.
already furloughed. So, I mean, if there's another lockdown in November, December, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a vaccine by then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be the first person to try it.
Yeah.
You probably come out.
You won't be.
You probably come out with an extra arm or something.
Yeah. Be like the episode from The Simpsons, like the four-eyed fish, like they come out of a lake. Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
So,
Or you might even maybe that's what's happened to David Luiz. Maybe he tried the thing because he's not right. in the head.
vaccine.
Yeah, maybe.
He sucks.
Yeah. But yeah. Go on.
I was gonna switch it back to sport.
Yeah.
And back to your point, all the way. I want to talk about this, but we kind of went way off topic.
Yeah, we did. I don't know what happened there.
This is my argument to soccer, and I tell people this all the time, is like you said, there's no commercials or stoppages in play. You watch an NFL game that's 3.5 hours, you're only going to get like, I don't know, like out of that 3.5 hours, you're watching at most like 60 minutes of actual play. So
Okay.
like my argument is it's 2 hours of your day.
Yeah.
Or not even an hour 45 to watch a soccer game with a 15-minute half.
Yeah.
You are, you get, like, it's quick. You can plan around it because you don't know, like, it's not going to end, or it's going to end at a certain time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But people just don't get that because they don't like the no scoring and, like, passing in the back and, like, passing backwards. So,
Yeah.
which I just don't understand.
What is
The game before, the Villa game was terrible. That was a horrible game.
Yeah, you do get some. I definitely see problems with it. Don't get me wrong. Like, there is problems with football or soccer that I don't like. I don't like how it's very money driven. I feel like they could do something to change that, to make it more fair across the board. And I
like
also
a salary cap.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Or even like a spending, like just some sort of like cap.
Like a transfer
yeah,
budget.
because like it's getting silly now. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, sports stars across the world are, why should football players be punished? Why shouldn't they? Because it's a short career, let's be honest. But why should they be like capped on what they can earn when a tennis player can go out and earn as much as he, like, if he won everything, then he's going to get every part of, he's going to earn so much. Same as a golfer, same as an F1 driver, or like a NASCAR driver in your case. Why should they be why should they be punished?
Caps go up though.
Yeah,
caps go up. Like the NBA cap goes up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like every couple of years. Like, so the players keep earning more. But like, I would agree. It's more of a problem in other leagues, not necessarily the Premier League. Like, the fact that Juventus has won the league like 9 years in a row is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like, they obviously can buy way more than like a team like Parma or who's in like
AC
those
Milan
teams are
and
never going to
Milan.
win the Scudetto ever again.
Yeah.
They're never going to win it.
Yeah.
Because of Juventus has all the purchasing power. Same with the French league.
Yeah.
That's not fun to be in those leagues. Like, it's just awful. That's why the Premier League is so good, because you have a variance in winners, and you got Sheffield up in 6th place.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen overseas, or not overseas, but like in Germany and other places.
No, you're right. But yeah, for me, there is some things that could be done, I suppose, to appeal to other people, I guess. Like you guys in the States, like there could be points where I feel like players do jump around a little bit. You're quite physical in the States, and we are here too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, anyone that's played football or soccer will know that it is a fast-paced game, and there's no, like, you've literally got your shin pads on, and that's it. You do get kicked around. People wear metal studs and stuff, and like, you're running at full speed. The other person's running at full speed as well, and if you get a tackle wrong, like, it can end badly. I've seen it loads. Like, I've seen guys breaking their leg literally on the pitch right beside me, and it's horrible. It's not nice. But my point is, like, when you're watching it on telly and you don't have if you've never really played it, like being from the States, and you're used to seeing like big heavy hits, like, in the football that you guys have got, you can ultimately view it as like, well, this is a bit weak, I guess. And I can see that, to be fair, especially the way the players, like, don't ever think that the players are being serious about when they go down. A lot of the time, that they are just trying to con the referee into punishing the other team or the other player.
Yeah, I hate that too.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that.
And a lot of Americans hate that.
And that's something they could change.
It's not like a... Right. I mean, it's not... And I would say, like, the English league is not nearly as bad as other leagues. Like, especially... Like, Neymar gives... Like,
Terrible.
when SportsCenter over here or ESPN puts a highlight up and it's Neymar...
Yeah.
Like...
You just know, don't you?
Flopping around, like, that's what people think of soccer over here. Like, they think they're just like these soft guys. I'm like, it's not how it is. Like, you got some big dudes. Like, those guys playing center back, like Mari is like 6'5". Like, he looks gigantic. So it's like,
yeah, no, I get that, but I can see how it looks that way too. Like, we've got that even over here though in the UK. We've got that sort of, not misconception, but we've got a divide. I don't know what it's like and this is perfect for the podcast, setting perspective. I'm finding out, culture from the States, you're finding out culture from here, but we've got a divide over here, which is mainly divided between like rugby lads, if you like, and football lads. So like, the rugby lads tend to be like bigger built. They think like they're the big guys, they have a fight and then they kiss and make up, and they will all go to the pub together for the most part. And then you've got the football lads who are a little bit lighter, if you like, but very much more athletic, and again, all sort of like seem to stay together, and they've got quite different views and cultures, I guess, just in life in general. It's really strange, and my thing is, like, we sort of have that divide over here. Do you have that divide between sports over there in the States? Do you have like a strong divide, if you like, between like someone will just think their sport is better than another. I don't know. Do you have that?
Right. So we don't really have that type of division in the States. There's some cliquey sports, like regional sports, such as lacrosse and stuff, where there is a little bit of that division.
Okay.
But for the most part, like my friends and I, we watch baseball, we watch soccer, we watch football, we watch basketball. So there's not really that division. And it sounds like from you guys, like it's just like culturally too. Like you hang out with the rugby kids if you play rugby. You hang out with the football kids if you play football.
Yeah, it is culturally. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of there's a lot of like mixing too. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like you can't go and see him because he plays football. It's not like that. But what I mean is, like there's quite a strong, like, you can tell just by the way someone dresses or acts, literally within the first minute of meeting someone, whether they play football or rugby. It's really weird.
Is that why Charlie's so weird looking?
Yeah, he plays rugby. That's it. No, you've got it already.
Yeah. But we had a major technical difficulty in this episode, and we're approaching the hour mark, so we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna keep going with this podcast. We like doing it a lot. We're sorry again for the lack of an episode last Sunday. Mm-hmm. But we hope you guys enjoyed. So please like and subscribe, and it supports in any way. Go support Rich as well. He makes some fire vlogs. I know he just dropped some new I Can branded stuff. So if you guys want some of that, go pick it up. We're going to give that a plug. Of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
I need to buy one myself, honestly.
Yeah, I'll get you sorted, man. I'll get you sorted.
No. But Rich, you got anything for the audience?
No, just again second what Pete said, and I know we said it at the start and we can't stress enough, we do really enjoy making these podcasts. We want to make podcasts every week, and that's what we're going to continue to try and do. Sorry that we missed last week. We're going to try not to do that again, I guess. But yeah, thanks if you made it this far. Thanks. And same, go and check Pete out again. My viewers, I've mentioned him so many times. Go and check Pete out. He's making some really good content again at the minute. By the way, before we go, those little like if you're into like videography and like editing mainly, at the moment, Pete's making like some really cool tutorials. If you've watched The Last Dance and stuff, you'll have noticed the little timeline structure thing. Pete's gave quite a good breakdown on that. So if you want to learn how to do that, definitely go and check out that video. That's doing really well, that video as well, I've seen, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like I've been trying to like make more searchable stuff. I know like we talked about this before we recorded the podcast off record, but making vlogs is tough, I mean, especially now. We've talked about this before in previous episodes. So like I've just kind of been trying to vary up my stuff and get like a new audience in. And like also it still applies. Like Rich likes to tell stories in his vlogs in different ways. Whether it be like top down shots of like what I really like what you did with the animation, like the Wednesday, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like with the paper,
Thanks,
stuff
man.
like that. But you can use the stuff that I do as well, like if you want to go back and tell a story like that, it's super easy. Like the one I did on the Jeffrey Epstein thing, like anyone can do that. It's not hard. Okay. And I'm sure you could use something like that. So anyone, if you're a content creator. But
absolutely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna sign off on this podcast. Thank you for listening as usual, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.